Brain health and healing is about becoming who you're really meant to be. What will getting there require? Well-being and health of your brain, body, and mind. The first 5 episodes are about my own path. Almost 40 years of helping people and how it led me to brain injury recovery and starting this podcast. After that, we go wider. The spectrum of anger, how adversity points us toward our purpose. Conversations with other people about their work. Today, you're hearing how it all started. From a Caltech-trained scientist who trusted only what could be measured, to someone who can see what the body and brain are trying to say. Let's get into it. I am so excited to introduce you to brain health and healing, receiving adversity's gifts. I've wanted to start a podcast for years, and now we're finally here. Until very recently, I felt lost in the desert, doing all the wrong things. Now I've finally got my message that I want to bring to you. Let's start with how I got here, with a podcast talking about brain health and healing. I intuitively see inside the brain and the body. This is how I do my work, and I have an intuitive knowing of what needs to shift. However, I didn't always have these abilities. I started adult life as a Caltech-trained scientist with a bachelor's degree in chemistry. After college, I decided that lab work really wasn't my thing, and I started studying acupressure and Reiki. Pretty quickly, I had to come to terms with how left brain scientific logic and right brain esoteric are able to work together. I help people relate to both. When I'm working with people, I want them to understand how their bodies work, so they feel empowered about being able to heal themselves. Craniosacral is a massage modality that works with the energy and motion of the bones of the head and spine. Before the start of my first craniosacral training, I was reading the textbook for the class, and in my mind, I began seeing the bones and their movement. It's called the cranial wave, this wave-like motion of the skull bones. They are about the magnitude of the thickness of a piece of paper. Have you ever heard of the Fantastic Voyage? In this movie, scientists shrank themselves down and traveled inside a human body. If you imagine yourself shrinking down and zooming into the body, the tiny movements of the cranial wave look enormous. That's what it's like when I see the bones and membranes, the brain and the fluids moving in my mind's eye. And I see something else too. People's emotions, their issues, the history of their lives are held in the bones in the body. And that's what I see in my mind's eye. So I was mostly doing hands-on body work. Then, in March 2020, I transitioned to working with people over Zoom, doing biofield tuning, using a tuning fork and a hockey puck to make sounds. It went well for a couple of years, then the flow of clients slowed. I bought expensive coaching programs, which directed me to do business coaching. I failed miserably at this and went through a period of struggling to describe who I am and how I serve people. I learned neuro-linguistic programming, which helped me heal my own limiting beliefs and gave structure to my coaching. Then in 2025, I created the Spectrum of Anger, a framework to help people reframe anger and other uncomfortable emotions as information rather than something to fear. Upset emotions is such an issue for people who have significant brain injuries. Along the way, I helped someone's migraines disappear. I helped someone recover fully from a stroke. And I helped someone's chronic headaches resolve. My friend Kim survived a devastating car accident, and I joined her team of practitioners. Kim's healing became one of the clearest proofs of what was possible with my work. Then in April 2026, I met John Kennedy and certified in his technique, combat brain training. The combination of combat brain training with my own intuitive sound healing produces results neither approach achieved alone, leading me to helping people recover from brain injuries and to improve their focus and mental clarity. That's where we are today. Now is the time to listen to this podcast because brain injury recovery has been stuck in the same place for far too long. Science now understands the importance of energy and the power of belief and emotion. Yet standard medical treatment for brain injuries is still addressing the physical structure and calling it healed. I started spending time in Facebook groups for people with brain injuries, and it really disturbed me that people were stuck. So many have given up hope that they can heal. Restoring hope is why this brain health and healing show is so needed. I have been helping people with their brains for years, one person at a time. Yet I had no way to measure changes. Combat brain training changed that. I have a method that lets me show that the brain is changing. Processing speed is measured, not just felt. We increase smoothness and capacity. I love empowering people to help themselves, changing what's possible. Brain health and healing helps me empower listeners who have been told they just have to live with symptoms. The world needs this message more than ever because too many people have stopped expecting things to change. My vision for you as a listener is that you walk away from every episode knowing your brain heals itself, no matter how long you've been struggling or how many times you've been told nothing further is possible. I want you to feel less alone, more hopeful, and genuinely curious about what your brain and body are telling you. Your symptoms are messages, not your destiny, and healing doesn't have a deadline. Along the way, I encourage you to clarify what really matters. What are you here to do? Clarity often comes from the recovery journey, shaped by what you have lived and what's been revealed about who you are and how you contribute. You are capable of more, and this podcast walks you through one conversation, one gem, one shift at a time. If this episode resonated with you, please subscribe so you never miss what's coming next, and share it with someone who needs to hear that their brain hasn't given up on them. Leave a comment on the podcast. It helps other people find the show. And come tell me, what was your biggest takeaway from my story? Find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, and let me know. I'd love to hear your story. Healing can begin with understanding hope and knowing you are not alone. Make note of a gem that caught your ear and ask yourself, how can I put this to work in my life? If this resonated with you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Everything you hear on this show is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not medical advice, and it doesn't diagnose or treat any condition. Please consult your medical practitioner before making health decisions. Our original theme music is by Bradford Tilden. Thank you so much for tuning in to Brain Health and Healing. We have an audio gift for you. Imagine what's possible at shinewithsandra.com/imagine. Until next time, be yourself. I'm your host, Sandra Lee. Breathe. Imagine what's possible.